bit of a flyby past my power plants here. Coal power in the front. And then in the back with the dual stacks per building is the fuel power. And these are the refineries right up here. All right, so now we've got that squared away. We're going to do our alignment initially here. So I will guide off of this one, make sure it's rotated properly before I build a whole bunch. Nudge it up. There we go. That one is definitely not on alignment there. All right, and so layer one of power storage, of building the power storage units is done, and now I just have to hook it up here. This is where I'm going to have to play around a little bit with the spacing because it's going to be off by a little bit. I put that there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should do it then. That'll give me my 5, I believe. Actually, the 4 might be okay. It might actually be the proper setup. Let's adjust that. It's good to see. I see somebody else joined. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Currently building a power substation on the blueprint maker. let's see, how does that look? So the first row is coming back a little bit. And the second row kind of comes even. Third row goes back a touch. Now here's where it starts to shift, and that's because they're facing the opposite direction. So I think, meanwhile, it'll still work. I think for cleanliness, I might actually want to bring these over towards this one. And then have this be here and then that there. So I think that's what I want to do. So yes, it's nitpicky, but when you're doing blueprint making, it makes all the difference in the world to do it right here, because then every one of them that you're going to make from here on out is going to be this way. So if it's going to be something that's going to make you annoyed, if you're going to be building more of them down the line, you don't want to be annoyed every time you build it and wish you had done it back here, because then going into the blueprint maker and fixing it later down the line does not fix the ones you've already done. Okay, so here I'm going to go to the one in the middle. That's why I put that extra one there, so it'd be a little bit quicker for me to kind of visualize. So I think I've got them all done. So that's 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and 6. I can make that one go away for now. Okay, now getting up to the next level. In order to make this work, I think I still have to put a frame floor down. There, just had it. There. Come on, give me my recessed. There we go. That'll also make it look a little bit less wonky when you're looking at it from underneath because of the way that the inverse ramp connects in. It does make it a little strange looking. It makes it look like it's not connected. So this actually still gives you that invert ramp. Could have just zooped it. But it'll still make it look nice and reinforced. So you can kind of see now you got that full floor. It definitely looks more structurally sound. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to need to bring a ladder up so I can get the first one kind of locked in because of just the size of it and everything. I want to make sure it looks right. So I'm just going to do a construction ladder here so I can eyeball it. I might need to still put a floor on this. I'm not sure. I think it's going to make me. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Should be good there. Okay, that is too far back. Trying to eyeball this to see if it's too far forward or if it's an alignment. I want it to be precise. I think that's a half click back. I think that's correct. So here's what I'm going to do to check. I'm going to do an architectural ladder. It's going to go from the foot of this, eventually. Half a click in. And that is half a click in on the frame there. Actually, no. It is not half a click in on the frame. So that tells me that I'm slightly too far forward. So that's how I'm doing it there. You can kind of see there. Here, it's pretty much flush up. And there, it's a half a click in. So it means this power constructor or power storage needs to go one back. Once I get this keystone in place, yeah, so that's the right depth now. Now we're going to go over to the ladder here. Make sure we get it centered. Oops, I hit the wrong key. So now that's on the center beam that I want, which is what this has as well. Now we're going to kind of eyeball it. And now that's the right distance back. So now we're good. And I can get rid of that reference ladder. Now, this is what I was concerned about, is it is challenging sometimes to build on open grate. So I think what I need to do here is actually put in and replace some of the flooring here with the glass floor, the glass frame foundation. And that just fills it in a little, so that you can build on it and it still makes it look kind of nice. So there we go. Now I should be able to just run this. So go back to power storage. It's a shame that you can't zoop power storage. That would make life easy too. Okay, so that is forward. I can just go down the line this way. This blueprint might be my biggest total mats requirement blueprint I've ever done. I mean, I've only done, this will be my third blueprint, so I mean, it's not like I've done a ton of them, but I've done another pretty massive one as well that literally took up every square block you could in a blueprint, so. So there we go. Now I'm going to build up again with beams. 14 is the number we did prior. It's going to be a frame foundation on top. Well, first we're going to put a beam support on top. And then a frame foundation. H that, bring it over, make sure it's square and not outside of the lines. Beautiful. Now the one thing I do want to check is where this was on this line. Okay, so it came into the point there. And that's doing the same thing here as well. Should have done it the opposite direction, but I'm gonna have to remove a couple of those. And we're gonna do the single frame floors. Do the inverted frame ramp. And finally, we're going to do our power marks again. Let's check our positioning on this. So it was half, and then on the beam the rest of the way back. Yep. on beam, on beam. On beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this was the half as well, just to repeat that pattern. And now we wire them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we just got to do it. Rinse and repeat. Now, the thing I'm not going to know yet, and so I'll want to test this out on a single storage before I turn the whole thing on, is what kind of power drain this does on the grid when I first hook it up, right? Because power's got to come from somewhere to power this up. And the last thing I want to do is cause a power issue as I'm trying to implement something that's going to be the safety valve for future power issues. Because that would just be kind of backwards, wouldn't it? So I'm going to try it and just watch what happens to the power drain when I do 1 before I hook up 72, which is what this is going to be, 72 power storage onto a single grid. Or maybe I just do it where I hook 1 string on after I build it with the blueprint and see what it does there. Now we'll go hook up the bottom layer. Seven, then 8. 2, 3, 4 8s, another 7. Good. Now, based on where this is positioned, the last thing I need to do is look at where I want to have the throughput to make sure that they interact. And that's actually where I'm going to do front and back. I'm going to do a Mark III. I don't think it'll let me do the through the floor, the through. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge. So let me kind of think of what I might do here. I might have to put a little drop plate here that can act as a wall and then have it on the front, but then that could potentially trip outside the chalk line. So I might not want to do that. I do need to put the finishing touches on the architectural beams. Almost forgot about that. And actually made me think about what I can do with that once I get that done, about how I handle the wall power thing and make this look kind of fun and techy. big concrete pillar to go in the corner here is that foundation. That's not big concrete pillar. Yes, it is. Interesting. No matter which way I do with the arrow keys, it's still moving the same way. Not a fan. What did I do to glitch that out? Sometimes trying to get things to snap right sometimes can be infuriating. Nope. Right at the last second before I hit H, it shifted on me. Telling me smells, but I think that actually got it into position.